In this video, she's about to crash out and I'm going to give my thoughts along the way. So let's see what happens.
Okay, crash out time. I have no idea what direction, where I'm going in life. Can't afford life by myself. I have literally no one that I can sit down and talk to, that I can help me. I've lost friends because I'm going through a really hard time in my life and I need people, and like people are just not there for me. My best friends texted me and was like, that's disrespectful to say that you're lonely and that you don't have anybody when you have people in your life. This is her exact words. She goes, don't be surprised if you don't hear from me for a while. That is a fake ass friend, okay? I'm glad I'm removing people out of my life and like building this journey by myself, but it's hard.
Now, it makes sense why she's crashing out, because it's going to be tough. Like, everybody goes through difficult times in life. And like, obviously, this is just a part of life, right? People go through difficult times. But what her best friend is actually saying to her makes a lot of sense. So we can always have sympathy for people who are struggling financially or are hit at a crossroads and they don't know what to do. They're wondering like, what should I do? What's my next step? Everybody goes through these situations. You know why? Because that's life. But you know what the Bible says, which can help everybody? There is safety in a multitude of counsel. In simple terms, when you surround yourself with wise people, they are going to keep you safe. They are going to help you in the times when you need it most. Why? Because they're wise. Wise people have typically gone through a lot of life experience, or they've learned from other people who've gone through a lot of wise experience. This is why they say, people can say stuff, you can be wise beyond your years. Because the way God has set things up, you don't have to be like, for example, I'm 35, but I don't have to be just 35. I could be 50. I could be 60, 70 in regards to wisdom. I could be eternal in regards to wisdom if I follow wisdom from the Ancient of Days. This is why I always say in these videos, right? Following the word is the best way to go, because it has advice, it has game on every different area of life. I've just given her one example. But the fact of the matter is, because her best friend said to her, don't just be moping around and sopping and saying to yourself, oh yeah, well, I'm all alone, I'm by myself. You're not by yourself, you're not all alone. You have a best friend on top of other people that you probably have connections with. But what did she say? Well, because she said, don't be surprised if you don't hear from me for a long time, it's because your best friend doesn't want to be around this sort of dysfunction. You literally have a best friend that you're in communication with. And I get it, it's hard. I get it, you're going through difficult situations, but you can't start isolating people who are there to help you. Think back to what I said previously. There's safety in a multitude of counsel. Let's see what else she's going to say, right?
I need a place to live. Can't afford it. Applied to 20 different jobs in my area. Nothing.
The question I have is, how old is this woman? I'd be surprised if she's older than 35, right? She's relatively young, right? Go home. Go and live with your mum and dad. If your mum and dad are separated, we'll live with one of them. Are you a widow? Not a widow. Are you an orphan? Possibly, but highly unlikely. Most people aren't orphans. Go and live. Go and move in with one of your family members or one of your friends. A lot of the time, the solution to our problems are right in front of us, but the reason we don't take them is normally because of pride. She is literally saying, if what she's saying is true, she cannot afford to live in a particular place. She's homeless. If she's being rejected from jobs left, right, and center, she seems to be in like a nice looking car. At least that's what it seems like, right? Maybe based on what she's saying now, it's probably just financed anyway, so that really doesn't even tell us too much. But go home. There's nothing wrong with staying at your parents' house until you get your stuff back on track. Very simple. This is one of the reasons why in biblical times, and even it's not, I don't even want to say in biblical times because wise people still do it today. A daughter would be in the house, their family house, until they get married and they go into another house, another man's house who can provide for her, who can take care of her. So it's 2026. Yes, Like in most westernized countries, they're not going to let women go homeless and all of this kind of stuff. So you'll be cool on that regard. But at the same time, just go to your parents' house. Where are your parents? Go and move in, get stuff back together, and go from there. Let's see what else she has to say.
Everybody wants $1,800 a month. They want you to make 3 times that rent. Impossible. Sucks when you have no family, you have friends you can't.
And why is that impossible? Think about it. She's saying the people who are willing to rent out their properties want people to be able to provide 1 month's worth of rent plus 3 more, right? So 4 months worth of rent, which is, let's just round it up, $8,000. Why is it impossible to have $8,000? But notice I'm highlighting this because I want you to understand the thinking. This is how a lot of people think. Why not think the opposite? Why not think, well, how am I going to get $8,000 in the bank? How am I going to get more than that? How am I going to get my emergency fund locked and loaded, ready to go for situations like this? This is why I always go back to a prime example in the Bible, in the first book of the Bible, Genesis. 7 years of boom were coming, right? Buoyancy, and then 7 years of famine. What did they do in the buoyant years? They set aside a small portion, a decent portion of the wealth for the incoming famine, the incoming credit crisis, the incoming financial depression. And they were able to thrive. This is how people thrive when things are chaotic for many other people, because they're prepared for it. If you want to be prepared, that means start yesterday. Maybe you didn't start yesterday, start today. It's not too late for you to be great. I say this all the time, and it applies to various different areas in life. You may not have an emergency fund right now, but what you can start doing today is start building towards it. This is why I said earlier, she should just go home. If $8,000 is such a big concern to you, go home, get a job, and start stacking that cake. So you've got an emergency fund. You've got more than 4 months worth of rent. You've got 6 months worth of rent, plus other potential expense, etc.
Rely on a job that doesn't make enough money to even move out or even apply to an apartment. And I'm hustling my ass on social media. I'm trying to post every day. How much do I make on TikTok? Maybe $100 a month. Okay. No one asked me how my day is. No one asked me how I want to sell.
Nobody asks how your day is. You're making $100 on TikTok. Maybe it's time. I don't know how long you've been on TikTok, but maybe it's time for you to think about a different platform. At the very least. At the very least, maybe it's time to say, okay, maybe TikTok isn't for me. You see how I said before, right? The solutions are typically in front of you. But the difference is whether you're going to acknowledge them or not. She's saying that she is not making enough money from her job to move out. So that, again, is screaming loudly, you're not ready to move out. If you are not married to a man who's providing all of this stuff, you're not ready to move out. And that is okay. We live in this warped society today where you must leave the house at 18, 19, 20, which is the only people that prosper from that sort of stuff are the people that are promoting and saying, yes, move out, go and become independent. Again, I'm going to go back to this wise proverb. There is safety in a multitude of counsel. So what do you think? It's better to be alone, or you think it's better to be in a team, in a partnership? It's better to be with someone than to be by yourself. And that even makes more sense when you think about a family structure. I don't understand why everybody's so excited to leave the house. I was thinking about this the other day, and I was thinking about when I moved out, and I was like, well, I moved out when I was like 27, around that. And I was thinking about, like, if I could have stayed for longer, I probably would have. But, like, there's nothing wrong with staying at home until you need to leave, for example, or you're happy and ready, say, you know what, now is the time to go. There's nothing wrong with it. All of this, leave at 18, leave at 19, become independent, blah, blah, blah. You can be independent in your parents' household. Very simple. you can be practicing independence in your parents' household, and by the time it's time to leave, you'll be just taking the next step of independence. People seem to think that, oh, if you stay at home, that automatically means you're going to be at home and your parents are doing everything for you. That's not how this works, especially if you've got good parents.
My car, because I bought my car 4 years ago. I can't afford the car payment and afford the insurance, but guess what? I have to contact my dad in order to sell my car. And I don't talk to my dad. I've tried low-income housing.
You see the red flags? She got a car 4 years ago. I assume that her dad maybe got the car for her 4 years ago, based on what she's saying. And she can't afford the car. So maybe for whatever reason, it seems like, if I could just piece this together just from what she said and just some assumptions, maybe 4 years ago she was living at home. Things were in good standing. Her dad got her a car so she could move around and all that good stuff. Something happened between her and her dad. Maybe her mum was probably around as well, but maybe something happened between her mum and her dad, which she didn't like. And she decided, I'm going to go my own way. I'm going to do my own thing. I'm not going to be under the protection or the covering of my father. I want to be independent. She's gone out. She's realized that things are much harder than she thought. And now it's all crumbling down on her. If you can't afford the car payments, what does that mean? You cannot afford the car. So when I was saying go home. But this is the problem. She's got some conflict with her dad. So she feels like she can't go back to her dad. Maybe it's because her dad probably said to her, well, look, if you're going to stay in my house, you're going to need to follow some rules. And I get it. Like, I was even speaking to one of my nieces the other day, and I was saying, look, I remember being young. I remember my dad and my mom saying these different things, and I didn't really like it and all that kind of stuff. And some of the stuff, like a lot of the stuff they said was right. Not everything was right. They're not perfect, but I get it, especially now, like having 6 children, like I get it. I find myself saying to my children stuff that my parents said to me. But at the end of the day, she is in a situation. She has a dad which seemingly would love to help her. He got her a car eventually. Like, if you got her a car ultimately, then that obviously says something. But you can see the major red flags as she continues talking.
Tried to contact him multiple times. The wait list is 7 years. I have insane anxiety. And like, I sit here, I scroll through TikTok, I see all these influencers going on luxury vacations every week, right? That's not realistic. Life is hard for a normal person. And if you tell that person, just get another job. Just go bartend. Go serve. I've tried. I don't want to seem like a pick-me or like my life is bad, because obviously people have it worse, and my boss keeps on telling me people have it worse. Okay, like, your life isn't that bad. That doesn't make my situation any better. Okay, I have super bad self-esteem right now. I take off my lashes because I'm never gonna get a boyfriend because I look too fake. Everything's fake about me. Sorry, I hate myself. Okay, I just didn't expect myself to be in this situation right now. Like, a year ago, my life was fine. I thought everything was gonna be okay. I had a couple years to live with my parents. I had friends, I had a boyfriend, all this stuff, and then just go 100 to 0 and like having absolutely nothing in my life. I've tried to get help. I've tried to go to therapy. I've tried to go on antidepressants. It's helping.
What this lady needs is to surround herself with people that love her, that people that continue to speak life into her, right? Tell her she's beautiful, tell her she's lovely, help her become a lovely person, all that good stuff. Because this is the trap that a lot of women fall into. And it's not just women, but we see this like so clearly with women, is one of the main reasons they cover themselves with makeup, and as she says, everything about her is fake, is because they're used to looking at this image, a fake image, and thinking this is special because so many people brand it as special. And this is why it always comes back to me to the beginning, Genesis, right? We are all made in the likeness and image of God. That means we are unique, we are special, we are one of a kind. We don't need validation from other people. The fact of the matter is, she needs to stay around good friends, good family members. And she mentioned this thing earlier on about waiting 7 years for housing, right? That wouldn't be an issue if you were living at home and you were working whatever job it was you were, right? And you were working alongside your dad and whatever family members are there, right? And again, I don't know the full situation, but in an ideal world, this is what you would do. You'd be stacking money and presenting yourself in a way where men would look at you and be like, she seems like a woman that's got a head on her shoulders. She's not out in the streets being promiscuous. She doesn't need her own place just to have it, just so she can have some fake sense of independence. Because what we can see here is I had all of this stuff, I had everything, and now I've lost everything. But what happened for you to lose everything? That's important. And therapy isn't necessarily going to help. Antidepressants is definitely not going to help. All that's going to do is mask it. We all have to get to a point in life where we take ownership and we're like, okay, cool. What have I done in order to put myself in this position? And when I get into that, when you realize that, you can start taking steps forward to get out of the situation and make things better. Guys, don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, and as always, don't forget to react righteously. God bless.